Hello, everybody. Wagon Oberion Raja Unenbo. Welcome in today, guys. We are back to continue the Leagues of Votann after my fun evening of repairing minis. So that's what we're going to do today. Here we go, and we are going to start with these little guys. We're going to start with them easier. What I am doing today, I'm using some of this bright neutral gray. I don't know if you guys can see, but I am taking these washed minis and I am giving them an overbrush of this bright neutral gray, basically just a heavy dry brush. And we're going to kind of give them extra, and I guess highlight, kind of bright, like light gray color on them. That's what we're going to do today. And then we might be starting on another color today, so we'll see where we get. But we're going to start with this dry brush. And I'm going to do all these infantry minis first, and then we'll get to to all the bikes themselves, who are now all pinned to their bases. We're very gentle with this, because even though well, it's the bikes that we pin to their bases, but we don't want to. Dry brushing can be pretty rough on the minis, so we don't want to like break stuff. But how is everybody's Wednesday today? You guys having a good day? Having a pretty good day. I slept in kind of late. Isn't always ideal. I guess it was nice to sleep longer. Feeling good. Not quite sure what color everything's going to be yet, so try to give the whole thing. Yeah, you are early today. Yeah, just started. Looks like a Star Wars droid a little bit. Yeah. That one was my favorite because he just has like a handgun and a hammer. Like they're all like these useful, like, you know, mechanical helpers, and you just have that one with a gun. It's great. Cucumber Bryn, how you doing? Or is it brine? Is it brine like you're brining, you know, cucumbers to make like a pickle, or is it Bryn? Have I been reading that wrong this whole time? I do that. I do that every now and again. Bryn. Okay, right the first time. Dang. Okay. I mean, that's good. That's good. Not making like weird pickle references. I thought it was. There you go. Yep. Okay, got this. Call, I think is what he's called. Very lightly doing this dry brush. I'm applying very little pressure. We're just trying to get these flat armor plates, these kind of upper armor plates. There's a chance you hear Painting Sun in the background playing Power Rangers, because he is on like a Power Rangers kick right now, so they're doing right now. All right. Mini. Cool. Let's get the next one. Don't know how long these bikes will take. Dry brush, but figure that out very soon. So yeah, last night I was able to come back to these minis, and all of the bikes, Power Rangers are still going. I don't know if there's a current series or not, but he's been watching the. We have Netflix for the time being, so he's been watching. I think it's called Dino Fury. Power Rangers Dino Fury. I don't know. Whenever we cycle through streaming services. Whenever we come to Netflix, he always does a watch through of that Power Rangers series in particular. So he's currently going through it. It is just as cheesy as every other Power Ranger series, but he loves it. So, but yeah, I had to go through all of these, the Hernkin Pioneers, the bikes, and I broke every one off of their plastic, like the little rock that connects to the actual jet bike itself. I broke them off, and what's funny about that is how hilariously easy it was to take these minis off. I gave one to the painting wife, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "break this mini off of the base, off the rock piece." And she's like, "I don't want to break it." I was like, "Do it," and she just did this like little twist. She's like, "Oh, it just came off." I was like, "Yeah." Like, that's how like poorly made these minis are, like poorly designed. This guy might not have a lot of this gray color, but still get rid of this dry brush to make sure that's some color on him. One more robot. Hey, Raja. I'm doing great. How are you doing? I am looking forward to tomorrow. So there's a lot of a lot of announcements and stuff tomorrow that I'm looking forward to. I think it's like Gamescom this week, and there's supposed to be a big like Space Marine 2 I don't know, reveals or whatever. So, you know, I'm looking forward to that. There's the whole data slate change. I've been looking forward to that because trying to make a list for a tournament, and that's hard to do when you don't know what the rules are going to be or the points are going to be. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. But yeah, Painting Sun's last baseball game tomorrow. No, it's not the baseball game itself, I think, or we're looking forward to, but just being done with the season. Krathusa Kronhost box today. Nice. That's the Daughters of Cain lady, right? Is it like the Crow lady? It's cool. I'm not super well versed in Age of Sigmar stuff, but okay. Here we go. Moments of truth, guys. Moments of truth. He is on there pretty sturdy. Get your fox bites tomorrow. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope you like them. I don't know if you have brush cleaner or not, Oberion, but getting some brush cleaner would be very prudent. You'll need to clean those brushes to keep them really nice. If you need help figuring out what brush cleaner to get, there's not a lot out there, but I could definitely give you some advice. What you recommended last time? Yeah, so with the brush cleaner, there's the stuff that I use and the stuff that I want to use. The thing about it is, brush cleaner lasts a very long time. And I use the stuff, it's called the Masters brush cleaner and preserver, something like that. But with what we do with miniature painting, the paints that we use, the brushes that we use, the type of cleaner that would be best is the Monument Hobbies. It's called Gentastics Drunken Brush Goop. Yeah, that is specifically made for cleaning brushes that we own, paints that we use, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can use it after every paint session. You don't necessarily have to, but if you're cleaning once a week or something, it depends on how often you paint and how much you paint. Maximum potential is just make it part of your routine that when you're done painting, you go and you spend 5 minutes, you go clean your brushes, and you do that. You only need to do that if you have it won't really work with synthetic brushes. So you're looking at doing it with natural hair brushes like sables, and even then I wouldn't be doing it super often unless you have like nicer brushes. You have brushes where I really care about these brushes, and so yeah. Slovak teacher, how you doing? Yeah, like we were saying, Hanenbo, sorry. This whole hobby, there is a million and one things that you can learn and do and buy and all of that. And you don't necessarily have to do all of that. Especially when you're just starting, So I don't want you to feel like you have to go out and get, 6 million things just to learn how to paint. If you want to grab those things, that's perfectly reasonable too. Hydro, how you doing? Preserver at least once a month. Okay, yeah. The Masters stuff, it's a cleaner and preserver. So what I do when I clean my brushes is just like as habit, I go through the cleaning process with that, which is rinsing. You get your bristles into the soap, you scrub them, you kind of rinse and repeat kind of thing, and then when I am done, I will actually run my brushes through and twist them to get that point in the preserver, and it's like a conditioner, but it'll just sit in there, and it helps them kind of keep their point and keep them clean and everything. And then when I'm ready to use them, I just rinse them off in my jar and put some paint on them. Yeah, that's a good point, Hanenbo. Yeah. A lot of hobby stores won't carry brush cleaner unless they carry Monument Hobbies products. Then they'll carry Monument Hobbies brush cleaner, usually, which is the Gentastics Drunken Brush Goop, which I have never used. I actually have two different brush cleaners. There's one I was kind of testing, hoping to kind of test for a company that I've used quite a bit, but yeah, this one that I'm using isn't specifically made for our brushes, but it works. If I ever ran out or my soap went bad or something, I would totally just go get the Monument stuff. I want to switch to a larger brush. Large minis, we'll see. Trying to convince either LGS or the newer gaming store. Start carrying Monument Hobbies products? Yeah. You gotta find other people going there. You have to get like multiple people convincing the business. Yeah, dude, that's how my local store started carrying it. People just kept begging them to carry it. And they did, and now it sells like crazy. So it ended up being, I think, a really good choice for him. It's funny, before I even got my Monument stuff, people were talking to the local game store about carrying their products. I had no idea what it was. But they had ordered stuff, and when I finally decided to get Monument Hobbies, I didn't know any of this. They didn't actually have it yet because it was around, like, tail end of the pandemic, like 2021. And they were everything was like on such back order, especially shipping to like retailers and stuff, that no one could get their products. I ordered on their website and then found out later that my local store was going to start carrying all their stuff. All right, that's good. Those are looking good. Hey Gosu, what's up, man? Local brands too, as per hobby. So that's cool. Yeah. Monument's mainly available in the US or the UK. You can get it in the UK through like Element Games or something. Trying to get cooked. Yeah. Do you have AC, Gosu? Be able to stay cool? I think it's some really janitor slapping a gun to yeah, it does look like a floor buffer, doesn't it? Oh man. These are strange looking bikes. In the attic of this building? Oh, okay. Well, you stay cool, Gosu. My local store yesterday has been posting. They started posting, posted yesterday, and they offered for people to come hang out. They said
thank you for allowing me back into your home.
Our actual like game room has, said we're air conditioned. If you don't have air conditioning, come hang out. And said we have free water for people, free bottles of water, and you can come hang out in the game room where it's nice and cool. So I thought that was really nice. Really nice of them just kind of opening their doors in that way. But yeah, they know me, where if I go in there, I'm going to be buying something, so. Cupcake1, how you doing? Thank you for the follow. You're having a wonderful day. I mean, here I'm going to be paying like $300 a month in electricity bills just for Ace. Ugh. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. No AC, it smells like sweaty nerd year round. Oh, no. Yeah, my local game store just moved to a new location, so it's a nice place. It was like a former doctor's office, basically, like a big doctor's office that they bought. They bought this big building, but they're only using like half of it, so the other half they're renting out to, I think, a doctor's office. Another doctor's gonna move in. For the small store, they have Citadel 2 thin coats, Army Painter. Yeah, and those are pretty standard. The 2 thin coats is definitely like a smaller brand, for them to carry. And 2 thin coats is nice because it's very analogous to Citadel. So people looking for that kind of paint. But yeah, it's easier for them to kind of compare and contrast between Citadel. But man, do you think Coast is so similar to Citadel paints? Like, I like the shades of colors that they have, but I'm not a huge fan of their actual paint or their bottle design. Their bottle's design is really bad. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rinse this brush off. I'm going to find a bigger brush. This big guy here. Get back, right. Medieval times. The opposite side of Kissimmee. Okay. Interesting. I don't know any of those places. Kissimmee, isn't that in Florida? Yeah, okay. My parents lived in Florida for a few years. I remember that being a thing. Deliver internationally? Okay. I'll try some, or my mom buy it in the US and send some here. Okay, alright, there you go. Well, hopefully you can get some, because it's cool paint. It's cheaper than Citadel, so... Alright. It's way better than Citadel here. It's supposed to hit around 95. Oh. The AC is broken. Man, that sucks, guys. Yeah, you guys stay safe. I hope everybody can find ways to stay cool today. Painting wife is taking the painting son to the movie theater. I stay here. Let's see. Gentle. Rainy day today. It shouldn't get higher than like 85. That's good. That's good. Yeah, we had a it was really hot yesterday, and my son had a baseball game, and everybody was kind of talking about it beforehand, and they were like, well, if it, it's supposed to be like the heat index of 106 degrees before they like cancel the game due to heat. And we're like, okay, so we'll have the game. Well, a lot of parents were calling kids out like at the game, and like, my son has asthma and he doesn't have his inhaler with him or whatever, and like they were, so apparently a lot of kids in our team have asthma, which is crazy. But parents are calling out. Team shows up, we have just enough kids. I think it was 9 kids, just enough to field everybody, but they had to go out, every inning they had to go play in the field. There was no like breaks for the kids, except for sitting when it's not your turn to bat. Well, they ended up calling the game after 3 innings because some kids on our team were like, my belly hurts and I don't feel good and all this stuff, and so they just decided to call the game early. So we ended up with an early finish to a baseball game because of the heat. And we'll see how it goes tomorrow, because another game tomorrow, and I think it's supposed to be just as hot. A lot of dry brushing today. I got 4 of these done. I'm on number 5. 18 totals, so 13 more after this. I'm excited to get into like the meat and potatoes of painting these minis. Like, this is kind of all like beginning steps. But their armor should be done. And we'll get into things like the reds and oranges, and they'll have browns like leathers, and all the metal colors that'll go on them. So get into some funner parts of painting these minis. First, black, white, red, yellow, blue. So what your best idea would be is pick out a mini to paint, and then pick out colors that you think would go with that mini. So, you know, you're painting, you said you're going to be painting fantasy minis first, right? So you're going to want some kind of metal. All right, you're gonna want like a silver color. You know, if you're buying pro acryl, if you're not just buying a set of paint, you're buying no, I have not seen the Acolyte yet. If you're able to pick out like your individual colors, then, you know, like, you want to pick things. Otherwise, like, you know, those like basic sets, like I was talking about, like the Army Painter like starter sets and stuff, are really good for that because they typically have those colors that go with the mini that comes in that little starter like paint kit or whatever. And then normally there's like a leather and like a silver, maybe a gold, and there's like some different like colors for like cloth, maybe a skin color, those kind of things. They might give you a wash in there or like a shade or whatever. Yes. 10-6. 10-6? Is that how you pronounce it? 10? Okay, yeah. We are painting Votann today. I'm doing some overbrushing on these minis. Is the Acolyte episode good, Zen? Was it good? Was it like weird? Yeah, think about colors that you would use to paint your minis, and then kind of pick out some basic colors there. Filler, okay, that's too bad. Our eight episode season has filler. I picked Gray Knights to restart. Steel, black, white, some red, and some blue. Nice. Okay. There you go. Inky03. How's it going, man? How you doing? Gray Knights are like a little deceptive in how complex they are. Like, you know, you look at a Gray Knight mini and you're like, man, that mini's gonna be so simple to paint. It's a bunch of silver. And you get into it, and like every dude has like books all over their shoulders, and you know, they all have trim and crazy stuff, and they end up being a lot more complicated to paint than what you would think. How they ended it? Oh no. Okay. All right. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. And you know, maybe it holds importance. The episode holds importance later. One second, guys. All right. Let's see. When I was young, I was into Inquisitors and Guard. It's better in Grey Knight's Return. Yeah. You get the full Inquisitor attitude there. These are not the bases. These are just temporary bases. I am not painting the bases. I'm shipping these guys without any work on the bases. So They are being kept separate. Should be expanded. Yeah. And maybe it was just like a world building episode that like didn't contribute a bunch. I haven't seen the episode yet. I don't know. Do not know. We're going on Zendral's word here, so. Nothing of great importance happened. Okay. We're geared toward kids? Okay. Yeah. We'll see. I think we're going to watch it this afternoon, so. Star Wars Game Korea simply does. There was a Star Wars Total War game. That's not going to happen, Inky. I know there was like the weird rumor that came out. That rumor is totally false. So you're going to be stuck with 40k Total War and Warhammer Fantasy Total War, and you'll like it. Continuity errors the problem. Zen, did you ever watch Andor? I can't remember if you ever watched that or not. That second season's supposed to come out this year. That show was like a serious masterpiece of like television. Wait for Andor. Yeah. We'll get more seasons. Ghost Talks, yeah, if it's... Yeah. Hey, as of right now, only one person has seen this show and says it's fillers, so... One person present, I guess. I haven't seen it, I don't know. Like the series, more power to you. Enjoy it? Anything interesting, bashing... Sure, that's fine, Oberon. Then we don't have to talk about it. You have anything nice to say? I would like to put that Star Wars has always been cheesy and weird. Has had silly, goofy, unnecessary things in it since its creation. But the stuff they do, like, seriously, has always been really good. Like I said, Andor and Rogue One are some of my favorite things. Star Wars. As far as, like, live action things, I really like the Clone Wars. I like Rebels. I think that's kind of the risk when you're putting out a lot of content as well, is like some things just aren't going to be great. You know, like there's going to be things that aren't good. Yeah, and that's just kind of it. Like I didn't care for the Book of Boba Fett. I really didn't like the Book of Boba Fett, and like that's fine. Didn't go in the direction I thought. It was kind of like a strange, I don't know, half Mandalorian season 2.5, and then also like Boba Fett was such a nice guy. It's kind of weird, but That thought it was okay. Yeah, no, I loved Andor, man. It was great. Like the crazy like prison scenes and those episode arc, and the fact it was like a long form, more like a long form season, like 12 episodes or something, was really cool. They got to spend time doing stuff. And like that last episode or two were just amazing. Like the funeral and like the rebelling and all that. It's cool. And there's a lot they can keep doing with that show, between like having Mon Mothma in the show and all that stuff. Marcus Day, how you doing? Yeah, I don't think the new Star Wars trilogy was that great either. That's fine. My son loves it. That's how the franchise stays alive, so it's following his footsteps. Yeah, yeah. The Imperial dude and his mom? Yeah, yeah. The corset guy. That guy was great. Oh, I got like creepy stalker and everything. Like that guy was, man. And his mom was hilarious, yeah. These guys are, it's kind of a weird color scheme. There's, obviously kind of this light gray white color. There's going to be some oranges and some reds. We'll be doing some brown leathers on these minis. I painted Votann in this color scheme a couple months ago. I think it was back in March. And so this is a continuation. I painted a bunch of Hearthkin, like Terminators, and like very, very heavily armored. And they were mostly white with some red accents. I didn't get to put a lot of orange on them. I think these guys will get a lot more orange on the minis as like a secondary color. Glowing effect for my Nemesis weapons. There's a couple different ways to do it, Inky. I don't think there's not really, if you're wanting like a real like glow effect, there's not like a quick and easy way to do it. The easiest way to do it, it won't look a ton like a glow effect, but using contrast paints. So you want a glowing blue. Talisar blue is really good. You kind of dilute it 50-50. Talisar blue is a contrast paint. You dilute it like 50-50, and then you paint it over the blade, and that's pretty much the easiest way to do it. Yeah, and you can put it directly over the silver, or you can do white and then Talisar blue. But you need to thin that Talisar blue a bit. It's very, very strong. For orange, well, there's a couple colors here. So I usually use burnt orange as like a base coat for orange. This color covers really well. Their actual like orange, like this color, it's an orange paint. Orange paint typically doesn't cover super well, so that's orange. That's like for highlights. They did just come out with this orange oxide, which has got like a little more desaturated look to it. I'm debating if I should try that or if I should just stick with the burnt orange that I know. So we'll see. We have, burnt sienna as well. I'm not doing burnt sienna, but yeah, we'll determine what we're gonna do with the oranges here soon. Keep going. Okay, we're about halfway done with these bikes. I did finish up my aggressors last night, so they just need their matte varnish, and they are done. That means at the very least, I'm probably just need to paint 3 more aggressors. Need to acquire and paint 3 more aggressors. Welcome back, Gosu. The bat rep? Yeah, watch the bat rep, guys. We have a battle report on YouTube. It's a quick one. Do our 10-minute heresy battle reports, but get to see how Zendral fares using Night Lords and Horus Heresy. And then if you are a Patreon member, there is a podcast episode available to you that is kind of corresponding with that battle report. We kind of talk about, I take Zendral through, ask him questions about his thoughts on playing Horus Heresy and comparing that as someone who had only ever played 40k. He has opinions. So if you want someone, you don't know anything about Heresy and you want to kind of hear about the differences and some of the cool stuff and some of the challenging things or not so cool stuff, it's a good podcast to listen to. Yeah, hour and a half of TPD Horus Heresy goodness and Zendral goodness. I did finish the match with Pone. We called it at the end of the night, at the end of that first evening we played, and it went to me. It was end of turn 3. It was very much one-sided at that point, so we just called it there. I think he had 3 war dogs left, and 2 of them had 1 wound, and one had 7 wounds that was trapped in melee. And then he had his Cerastus that wasn't able to do anything. It was kind of trapped up all game and stuck. And so getting that thing into combat turn 4 wasn't gonna change much the outcome for the game, so we just called it there. Yep, battle report is up. What is that? Yeah. I've told you guys, I've played games for a long time. And there's certain things you learn when you play, miniature tabletop war games for 20, 25 years or whatever. They're just things you acquire and you're able to see, I guess, that and I'm not like a terrible player at the game, so I used to play competitively with tabletop games. Armada was my big competitive game. A lot of the skills with different tabletop war games are transferable. There are always things to do, looking ahead, seeing objectives, kind of being able to do different math things in your head and stuff like that. And I used to do I was pretty active in tournaments back in 5th edition with 40k. But no, it was a pretty close game. It definitely wasn't those first 2 turns. It was looking really iffy, and yeah, it was basically by the by the end of the 3rd turn though, my army just kind of went a little ham, and I was trying to kill things. There was a bunch of stuff I couldn't finish off, but having a bunch of war dogs on 1 wound is not a way to win a game. So Yeah, I was able to. I deep struck a squad. It was a little squad of intercessors back onto his home objective, and I guess Chaos Knights have like sticky objectives or whatever. But I was able to get on that home objective, and we were playing first floor of buildings. You know, like block line of sight. Can't see out of them. Can't see in them. I deep struck a unit of intercessors right onto that objective inside the building. So he wasn't able to see me, and then, you know, the knights that he had left weren't able to come back. Or, you know, maybe at the end of turn 5, which he was top of turn, I think, or he might have been, I don't remember if he was top or bottom of turn. I think he might have been top of turn. And so he was not going to be able to touch those guys or out OC them by just sticking a knight on the objective. So, like, his home objective was mine and was safe in a weird way based on, like, terrain rules, which is pretty strange. I never played before that. I'd never played with, like, first floor blocks all line of sight. So that was definitely new to me, but, like, seeing that, like, little kind of trick right there was very beneficial. Yeah, I might play a game. I might try to get a TTS game. I want this like Pariah Nexus stuff to come out, which will be probably tomorrow. Then I might try to get some TTS games in. So if people are interested in playing and maybe streaming a game against me, let me know, and we can try to figure something out. I really want to practice out my like tournament list. You know, it's a tournament list, so it's like it's a good list. I don't think it's like super meta cheese. Who knows? I might end up that by the end of tomorrow. But yeah, if you want a good challenging game, if you think you can beat the Painting Dad. I need to play Vallejo. That's who I need to play. Because I think he's technically undefeated in the league too, so. I don't even know what army he plays though. Bring the same list regardless. Five more of these guys. Bring anything to transport the aggressor blob? No, not right now. If I had like, I guess the time and like all the money I wanted and everything, and I could make the list how I wanted, I would go get a Land Raider Redeemer. Like that's what I would do. But then at that point, what I might do is my list probably would be leaning more toward the Firestorm list and not so much Gladius. Even though the Bolter discipline or the Fire disciplines are really nice enhancement, but being able to get like extra strength and AP on your weapons and everything. So yeah, a Land Raider would be my preferred transport. I'd probably dump the Repulsor. No, you can't. The Land Raider Redeemer, I think the Redeemer comes with like the Crusader parts. There's like Crusader and Redeemer parts. It's not in the standard Land Raider box. But the problem with so with my army, the problem with bringing a transport for the aggressors is that the aggressors go with Calgar, and I don't want Calgar sitting off the board. Yeah, the standard's just the two twin las cannons. Yeah, but Calgar's entire, like, one of his biggest bonuses is he gives you an extra CP at the start of your turn, but he has to be present on the board to do that. So having him sit in a transport or sit in reserve or whatever is kind of counterintuitive to like his, like one of his biggest bonuses, which is one of the reasons I really like him, because with the Gladius detachment, I wouldn't say it's like CP hungry, but there's a ton of good strats, and if you want to use the good stratagems, like you're gonna burn through CP, and getting 2 at the start of your turn instead of 1 is a huge bonus to be able to use like the good stuff. So yeah, what would end up happening in my list is the Blade Guard would end up running around in the Land Raider. Which isn't bad, because giving them like crazy huge threat range and everything is really good. But then if I put them in the Land Raider and like really focused on like getting them to combat and making them useful, then I'd want to buff them up with characters, and they currently don't have a character with them. It's just 6 Blade Guard. So I could put the Judiciar with them or something. A Judiciar might be really nice on them. I kind of like the Judiciar with the Assault Intercessors, which sounds a little wonky, but those Assault Intercessors give him rerolls to wound, which is really good on the Judiciar, because he has devastating wounds on his sword. And he's strength 7, so like he's wounding a lot of stuff on 3s. So getting the reroll on that is big, because sometimes 3s just let you down. I really don't care for the standard Land Raider. What makes the Redeemer so good is that the weapons always hit, and it murders like Marine equivalent infantry. being 2 damage and like -3 AP, excuse me, and strength 6. And the Overwatch potential on that is just crazy. Like, it's terrifying to think about, like, moving a squad into range of that, because you will lose stuff when you're running things into range of it. So that's what makes the Redeemer so good. Okay, 2 more of these guys. And las cannons end up being kind of lackluster into armor. Sometimes they just really work, but I think a lot of the times they can be a pretty big letdown. Right, 1 more. Ballot. Who knows what color we're getting into next? Regardless of what it is, there's a lot of it that needs to be painted. Lurking, no problem. Yeah, sometimes you guys gotta do work, I understand. Hopefully your work day isn't too bad. I think I might bust out the orange here. Figure out exactly where it goes first. This guy's arm come off? He's missing an arm. What's this guy missing an arm? Do I have other people missing an arm? What in the world? Okay, sweet. That guy's just missing an arm. Okay. Well, let's we'll figure that out later. What? What in the world? Okay, well, dry brushing is done. Well, it took us about an hour. It's not too bad. Yeah, look at this. What was I doing here? Just missing his left arm. It didn't even look like I tried to glue an arm on there, so it's definitely on me. Alright. Happened. So, let me... Okay, so this color scheme. Seeing it. Okay, so there's black that'll be going on the mini. Orange. I think we'll keep the brown for like the like trench coat looking things. They're like bomber jackets they have, so we'll do that. But I think orange is our next appropriate color. So yeah, we're gonna stick with burnt orange because it's a color I know. We're gonna try to get through these minis. Start with Mr. Missing Arm. Their jackets are not going to be orange, but it'll be their pants here. Second coat necessary. It's like I have elephants living in the house, stomping all upstairs. Painting Votann, that's right, New Sphere. Yep. Yeah, it's called a kid, yeah. That's temper based him walking across the floor above me. That's funny. That sounds like super relatable. Yep. Like, how are my parents walking up the stairs? You know, and you could hear them. Oh, okay. Must be really upset. Call him Babar when he's thundering across the house? Okay. What is that? No Babar. No, I don't think I do. I might have some like vague familiarity with it. Okay, sure. Oh yeah, I have no idea what that is. No. No idea. Okay, I think we'll just do that for the orange right now. Because these guys have jackets, so it's like they're covering any orange sleeves they have. I mean, I just hate painting bikes in general. New Sphere, so I did had to go through. I had to pin all of these yesterday, and I did something really dumb, guys. You want to see what I did? That's really dumb. These are temporary bases, but in order to pin these minis, I had to pin like I had to drill all the way through. So I ended up pinning them. After I did like 3 of these, I was like, wait a minute, they're gonna come off this base. So what I'm gonna have to do, I have to use my hobby knife. I'm gonna have to cut really gently around like the rock, between the rock and the base, and I'm gonna have to pull up. Pulling this pin out with it, and then the client that gets this, he's gonna have to pin it into his own base, because that's the only way to get these things to like stay. So that's just how it's gonna have to happen. Yeah, if there is one thing that I really don't enjoy painting, it's like motorcycle dudes. I don't know why, but it's always like the most unenjoyable thing to me. It's alright though. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Not the end of the world. Just 18 of these things is a lot. So, because that's what I'm painting all at once, New Sphere. Painting 18 of these. Yeah, it is a lot. That's literally the most you can take in a battle is 18. Yeah, they're good. I mean, yeah. I have 18 of these, and there's technically 3 characters, but one dude has like 4 robots hanging out with him, so it's 7 character minis. Okay, that's it for that one. Yeah, 18 is rough. Yeah, the Iron Master, he's cool. I'll show you my favorite part here in just a second. All right, so my favorite Leagues of Votann mini is this mini right here, because all these other robots are like these nice like helper, or like they have like a wrench or a a little like drill or something on them, and this dude, like, they just gave this little robot a handgun, and he's just carrying this thing around. Like, yeah, it's just like, here you go. What is my purpose? Like, you shoot people, and he's like, sweet, and he just carries you. He's like ready to go. Yep. It's pretty funny to me, like just the mental image of that guy. I think with painting these bikes and painting the Cole, I don't remember what they're the commander guys. I think I will have painted every mini in the Votann range at least once. You know what? No, that's incorrect. I have never painted the basic troops. The actual just like basic soldiers in the army. So I do not have any experience painting those. I've literally painted everything else but the basic troops. The new kill team, yeah. It's one that came out with the Gene Stealer Cult one, right? Yeah, they just seem good. They have infiltrate. That's like a big deal. The Votann. Two of those boxes because he wants them for 40k. Dang. All right. So Tyrannid kill team, that'd be cool. They could really expand on the like the Von Ryan's Leapers kind of idea, aesthetic, like unit type. I was actually thinking about selling my my Tyrannid half of the Leviathan box. I really like. I kind of enjoyed painting it at first, but then just really didn't, and like I'm never gonna get around to them. I have so many other things to paint of things that like I want to paint. I'm never gonna do anything with the Tyrannids. I was thinking about selling them. I might be selling a couple random things as well if people are on the lookout. I actually have a bunch of paint racks I'm gonna sell. Proper custodian kill team? Yeah. Grey Knights literally are the kill team. Right? Yeah. That's lame. I have a bunch of cool stuff from my my heresy army I want to paint. Some vehicles, some infantry, and some characters. That's the thing. I have some Necron minis sitting in a box. I want to get painted. I have the Space Marines I just grabbed. I got some Old World minis. That's just my personal stuff. I have a bunch of commissions too to keep working on, so hopefully finish these guys by the end of next week. That's my goal. And if I'm doing a couple colors a day, they should get done pretty quick. Stream. Hopefully you don't have to take up weeks of stream time, but I want them to be done before July. Sent out then, and then my July have some cool jobs. Not quite as big, but I have an Old World commission. I got a Lord of the Rings commission. I got more 40k stuff. So lots of fun things to do. What do I do with the rest of the day while I'm stuck at the new house? Paint minis? You have like a setup to do that yet, or are you just kind of bare bones? Can't leave. You have very little over there. That sucks. It is a dilemma. Watch Twitch, but like put it on full volume so the contractors have to listen. Yeah. Going. Yeah, painting the metallics on these guys is gonna take forever. I'll go back and do a second coat of orange, and I might just paint the dusters they're all wearing. Go through and try to get all that. Brush slipped. Get a wet brush, put it on the paint, saturate it so it doesn't dry, and you soak it up. Wasn't raining so much, I would have brought minis to work to paint. Yeah. You just not have like a container with a lid on it to carry your minis, or what? need to prep one, use for transfer. Yeah, yeah. Makes sense. Hey, morning, Choach. How you doing? I'm having a good day. We were painting Votann, so I'm excited for the changes too. Has there been any other like news or leaks or anything about it? Because I'm kind of like chomping at the bit to play some new games with everything. Yeah. Everybody's, sounds about right. Yeah, I feel like I'm in a bit of a holding pattern with my tournament army. Because I need to see what the new changes are. So I'm just kind of waiting. Sisters game 1,300 points and someone had 2,000. Still, okay, weird. Play on Tabletop did a game where Salamander's player beat the Sisters, the new Sisters army. So. Sisters might get the Tau treatment where they just get a bunch of points increases with their codex. We're into 40k rules. That's how long it's been. How long? Yeah. Paint faster, Gosu. That'll fix your problem. Last bike, and then we'll go through the characters. I think I have an idea of how I want to paint some different things in the characters, but we need to get a good look at them first. Size Turbo Dork. Yeah, okay. That's awesome. So airbrush working out for you. Okay, we got you. Get to this guy. Pants and kind of a shirt thing. Yeah, I finished up those aggressors last night after I did a bunch of stuff on these. Like I pinned all these bikes. Their little rock piece flight stand. So weird thing you didn't like about episode 3 of The Boys? I don't know. Did I say there was a weird thing I didn't like about The Boys in episode 3? Something I wasn't expecting. I'm trying to think of what it was. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there was anything in particular I didn't like. Yeah, I can't think of something specific. So there was a moment, I can't remember what the moment was now. I think it was in the second episode maybe, but I was like laughing out loud to myself, which is not a very common thing I do. I thought it was really funny. I think that's... Wait for the orange on this guy, so we'll start with the orange. Ugh, yeah. They really do that though, like they go straight for like the shock value of things. I don't think this guy will get any orange on him. It's all mechanical and he'll probably have like a brown apron thing, so cool. These guys, these Coles, one of these guys is gonna have an orange cape and the other one's gonna have a red cape. Try to separate these guys out a bit. What was in The Boys? I don't know if you watch The Boys, Raja. It's hard to explain to someone who doesn't actually watch the show. But it's also things that I am not going to repeat on my family-friendly stream. Yeah. So. Yeah. The Boys does a lot. They always do like stuff in their show that's just like, it's like pure shock value. Okay, yeah. So if you've only seen, like, there's some crazy things that happen in season 1, but they go further and further with it every season, with the craziness. So yeah, absolutely insane. Yeah, there was definitely one part I think was like, it was in season 3, like right in the first episode, where like I audibly gasped and like was like in shock that they put something like that in a show. It was crazy. Joe, Minnesota, how you doing, man? That, close to retirement, yeah. I remember my dad, his whole life, he's like, I'm gonna work until I'm like 65. I'll get, you know, Medicaid, and then I'll retire and all this stuff. He hit 59 and a half, which is like you know, retirement age, and he was immediately like, I don't want to work anymore. So I think he made it to like his 60th birthday and was like, he's like, I'm done. Yeah, I've read the comic, Choach, and the comic is generally like pretty bad, but the comic is very much like if a 12-year-old was told to be as edgy as possible. And yeah, it's very like early 2000s, you know, lots of that, like trying to be dark and, you know, and all that stuff just because. Um, it's the meme, I'm out. Yeah. What in the world? Part-time by your 40s. That's an awesome goal. I hope you can do that, Raja. But yeah, the boys comic had some interesting things about it, but it was just, ooh. And yeah, it's funny. I've heard it's a Garth Ennis. Is that his name? I've heard his stuff, his Punisher stuff, is like his best. Like his original comics are really kind of cringy. Got to be smart about it. Okay, okay. Part-time but overqualified. Yeah, yeah. Company's gonna work you until you leave, Joe. Yeah, in some way, the show The Boys has more like shock value in it than the actual comic book, but I think part of that is because when you're dealing with like characters who are drawn onto a, you know, onto a page, like you're not gonna get, because it's a lot harder to get that shock value out. When things are happening live in front of you, it's like real people, and you're like, wow, okay, that is that's disturbing. This guy does have actual pants, these two, so I'm gonna do those orange. That's crazy. Got bored, huh? Hey, only aunties, welcome. I'm doing great. How are you doing today? Working on a whole bunch of Leagues of Votann minis. Go through and do a second coat here in a couple minutes. You're gonna pause from studying, alright. Management team, she's altering quotas for her teams, essentially work 60 hours a week to hit their targets. What? Oh my gosh. I am painting Leagues of Votann for Warhammer 40k. We have a couple characters and a whole bunch of jet bikes. 18 jet bikes to be exact. Did some washes and some dry brushing, and I'm going through working on this orange here on the cloth on some of these minis. I'm gonna go back through and do a second coat on this orange here. Oh, is there a mod present that can ban that bot? Don't click the link, guys. I am not going to Origins, no. I'm not like a big convention goer. There's a chance I might try to go next year. But if I go to a convention, I want to go as, like, the painting dad. I used to go to conventions to go to tournaments. You know, that was expensive, but it was pretty fun. But, like, you know, you gotta buy, like, multi-day pass, and, like, I don't spend my whole day, like, going around, like, doing all the things, but rest of the week off. Nice. All right. You enjoy, man. Yeah, like I said, there might be a time for me to go. Like fantasy. What's that? Oh, yeah, you're into the fantasy side of things. What kind of do you play? Age of Sigmar, or the Old World, or Middle Earth, or you play any games like that? But, or you know, maybe not. Yeah, I get some cheap minis. There you go. Round longer yesterday. Had an appointment. No problem at all. Welcome back. Air reception. I ended stream a little early yesterday anyway. I was kind of at a stopping point. Wasn't a lot I could do. Okay. We're doing our second coat of orange. Back with the band hammer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. With D&D minis to get back into it. Okay. Nice. That's the way to go, man. Those pre-primed minis, the Nolzor's Marvelous Unpainted minis, those are incredible miniatures to paint. Just to mess around with and get some painting in. Yeah, old world. I have a bunch of movement trays I need to finish painting, and I think I'm going to do some like labeling on them just so I know like what size things are at a glance. But then I might be ready to try some games. No, air reception, you're not. No, there was a bot that was just posting right above you. Yeah, there's no way I'm playing rank and file game without movement trays. I tried. I played a practice game with a buddy of mine, and it took us. We played a 750 point game, and it was taking us forever. You play on Warhol. I don't know what that is. Just want to paint. Hey, that's cool. That's totally cool. Yeah, this is burnt orange. This color is burnt orange. We're just going through and doing a second coat. So, online board games. Oh, okay. Oh, it's kind of like is that kind of like Tabletop Simulator? You able to play online? Okay, I gotcha. All right, I play Tabletop Simulator. I'll play 40k, and I'm more than happy to get games of something else. But way better for Warhammer. Okay, interesting. No, I'm curious. Have my attention, sir. Their paint line you recommend? Yes, actually. I highly recommend Pro Acryl by Monument Hobbies. A fantastic line of paint. That's what I've been using on these minis. Pretty much, I don't not quite exclusively use Pro Acryl anymore, but about 90% of my painting uses Pro Acryl. Yeah, Pro Acryl is thinner than other paints, so when you get into painting, sometimes you might like hear people talk about like, you know, thin your paints, use some water or some like, you know, thinner or whatever and thin your paints. You don't need to do that with Pro Acryl. Maybe the metallics after, you know, a year or something where they might get a little gummy, and you know, you put a little bit of water flow improver with them, but they have such a high pigment count and they're so thin, like they just cover really well with kind of as they are. Paints in the basic line of Pro Acryl cost $100. Yeah, they're their basic set. One thing I will tell you, yeah, airbrush is a lot of work. Yeah. If you're buying Pro Acryl and you have to buy from Monument Hobbies website, they have a create your own bundle. So every 8 paints that you buy as individuals, they give you like the bundle like set discount, like if you were just buying like an expansion box. And you can also get a discount. You can use my code. I am an affiliate with Monument. An affiliate after I shield their products for 2 years or whatever, because I love their stuff. But yeah, you do get 24 paints in that $100 set though, which is a lot. You know, that's $4 a bottle or so. It's really good. Yeah, the bottles are bigger than Citadel. They cover better too. They come in better bottles, better designed bottles. So you're getting a lot more paint for your money when you buy Pro Acryl anyway. A Zorn palette. That's right, Citadel pots are only 12 mil. Yeah, yeah. You'll get almost twice as much paint in a pot of Pro Acryl paint. Yeah, Amazon probably marked it up really bad. Let me go look at their starter set here. Go to their website and take a look. Their paint is cheaper than Citadel paint. Their base set's $100 even, and it's 24 paints. Yep. Comes with bold titanium white, coal black, bold pyro red, green blue, golden yellow, orange, burnt red, mahogany purple, magenta, sky blue, faded ultramarine, dark gray blue, bright warm gray, dark warm gray, golden brown, light umber, dark umber, camel green, jade, bright ivory, ivory, and tan. Yeah, if you could, let's see, if you type in exclamation point PA, it will send you it'll send you to their website. And that's actually my affiliate link too. If you were to happen to buy using that link, you could get a code. You have a 5% off coupon, and I just get a little bit of a couple dollars. Supports me if you buy a bunch of stuff from there. So, not that you have to, by all means, especially if you have a local store near you. They do list all their retailers. Go to your local store and buy from there instead, or you buy from their website. So support your local store. Orange on those. Let's go back and get these bikes. Roll these robots over first. Just doing a second coat. I am going to be back in just a moment, guys. Then we'll come back and we'll do the second coat of orange on all these bikes. Alright, I'm back. I do agree with Star Laser about Citadel paints. Zorn palette here. Oh, just working with like a couple colors to make your palette. Okay. Second coat on this orange. Yeah, the annual price hikes. They've been doing that for 20 years. Annual price hikes have always been a GW thing. Feeling good. We're only 2 hours into stream and I'm about to finish 2 colors now, so I think I'm gonna get out some browns and get in on these jackets. Maybe start with a darker brown so I don't have to put any washes. Black brown. Replace my get a new color here. Privateer press or other models for painting. Okay, yeah. Never painted a privateer press mini. See if I can complete these jackets today. That'll be good, but we'll need to get like leather bags and tools and stuff that are hanging out on these minis, so being able to get those as well. Helpful, but that'll be the next step, and it'll probably be the same color brown. Focus on just the jackets. One thing when you're batch painting, it's easier and you're less likely to miss things if you focus on like taking smaller steps. Instead of painting everything that's one color first, you break down that color to steps. And that might mean, you know, different brush sizes. You know, everything that's going to take a big brush I'll use first, or specific pieces of clothes, or just something like that. Hobby store in Lancaster. Had no idea. Okay. There you go. Is that closer to you? Oh, okay, okay. Yes, that is pretty close to you. Nice. Yeah, to check it out, man. Hopefully, they have some good stuff there. The female mage hero. Oh, cool. That's a good friend. Nice. Hey, I'm gonna message you. I will be at one of the stores this evening if you want to meet up and pass off that those minis this evening. Good paint's about 4 miles from me. Nice. Bring the Green Knight. Sweet. Sweet. I'll be at the other one that we haven't met at. I don't think we've ever met at that one, so I guess technically the older of the two locations. I don't want to just like start telling everybody exactly where I'm going on stream, but yeah, I'll be out there this evening. I'll message you with the time frame I'll be there. Yeah, that's why I'm painting them. Yep, yeah. That's a commission coming up soon. It's my next like good sized commission after I finish these Votann, actually, or the Bretonnians. Some Pegasus Knights and Pegasus characters and some other characters should be a lot of fun. I'm excited. Yeah, the Green Knight. I'm excited. I have to paint commissions. Yeah, I understand. It's just kind of something I really kind of like stumbled into initially. I'm not like a top tier painter, but I don't know. I think I'm consistent and can do a decent job, and I don't think I like charge people an arm and a leg to paint stuff, so it all kind of works in my favor with that. Commission painting's definitely not for everyone, so sometimes it's hard to motivate yourself to paint other people's stuff, especially if you have your own things to paint. It's not something you can take forever on a particular mini because money. Time is money. You gotta learn how to be kind of quick. Yeah, that's fair reception. Yeah, I love to dry brush and use shades and stuff, but I used to be real like, ooh, that person's a commission painter, like they're so good. And now that I've done it for so long, sometimes I'll like see people's work that are like, that are actually like commission painters, and I'll see their work and I'll just look at me like, ugh. You kind of get that reaction, but 6 Ground Knights. Man, Ground Knights look like fun to paint. Are those Ground Knights resin or are they metal? Out of curiosity. Do you own the minis yet? You think they're metal? Okay. I would much prefer to paint metal than the resin. Sweet. Is the box heavy? That's pretty much your indicator. Like the GW resin weighs close to nothing. Yeah, okay, sweet. So many bikes. Okay, I think it's everybody. Second coat of orange. Oh, cool. Thanks for the link, man. Let's do... I think black brown is the color to start on these dusters that they have. Alright, we're just doing Earl Krill, black brown. Put our burnt orange back up. Black brown at the ready. Grab somebody and just start. Because we're trying to avoid things we've already painted. Be impossible in some ways, but try to make it work. Alright, duster painted. Yeah, hopefully that's a good starting point. So let's start going through that. It's going to take a while. Hopefully we can do that in the 2 hours that we have. Difficult thing is some of these guys are too minis on here, which definitely isn't a nightmare, you know. It's totally normal and okay to paint. this other big duster. It's 2 on the same mini. Why? IGW. The detail creep. Okay, there's 2 more jackets. Like 25 of these to go. All right. Next, do we just get all the complicated ones done first? I think so. What do we do? Hey guys, there is a battle report live on YouTube. It's short. It's like 15 minutes. Try to do like short, more like summary style battle reports. But it's me and Zendraw playing Game of Horus Heresy, which, if anybody was here for the 12-hour stream, you guys earned that with, hitting some goals for me. So that's up. And then if you're a Patreon member, there's actually a podcast episode. It is my first attempt at a podcast. A podcast episode, it's me and Zen, and we kind of break down some things about that game. We kind of talk about how it went and some different decisions and stuff. But we also talk about, and you guys will get to hear Zendraw's thoughts on the differences between 30k and 40k as a game, and what he thought as someone who has only played 40k, and he started in 9th, so he didn't even get like the similar rules that you would get in like old school 40k. So you get to really hear his thoughts and like kind of dive into the differences between those and what he liked and what he didn't like, and kind of what we talk about. I only get a little defensive of the Heresy rule set. So yeah, if that's something you'd be interested in listening, I think the podcast is about hour 15 minutes, and the battle report's about 15 minutes. So yeah, a little bit of extra things. For some reason you feel like my voice is something you want to listen to more than you already have to by sitting in this stream. I think we'll have a new podcast episode out maybe next week. Next week would be my goal. Are they working on any minis right now? You guys just all work? About stuff not at work, or what's going on today, guys? It is Wednesday. Let's see what happens on Wednesdays. There's a new Adeptus Ridiculous episode. Gonna go play some Middle Earth tonight. Gonna continue the Battle Company's campaign. So if my dwarves can live through another event, I probably need to play the it's like narrative scenario. I think that's what I have to do, but yeah. Working on the Spire Tyrants Warcry Warband. Nice. Is Warcry a game that like GW was gonna stop producing, or was that was like one of the rumors, right? That there's like a big rumor dump and like Warcry was on the chopping block. Book 8 of I was reincarnated as a demon lord of a dungeon. So I will do. All right. That sounds like a hilarious book. 10 warbands. This is one of them. Okay, nice. Yeah, it's fair. Hilarious. All right. I've never heard of that, but it sounds crazy. It's Japanese? Okay. Yosu, what do you think about the current Horus Heresy rumors? Like the big box set that's rumored to be coming? It's looking more and more like it's going to happen, but I'm curious what if you've heard about all that stuff and like what's coming in the set and you're excited for it. Where's the Istvan stuff? The Plastic Mark II? Yeah. Yeah, he's talking about the Saturnine Terminators and a new Dreadnought. Like, just a straight-up new mini going into the Horus Heresy. Like, for Space Marines. I do not like the look of the Saturnine Terminators. I think they look awful and goofy and out of place. I don't think... I mean, I think they could very well make them in plastic. It would be ridiculous if they made those in plastic over, like... you know, just like refreshing Cataphractii or Tartarus Terminators or something. I don't know why they would do such a thing. But yeah, I'm not too excited. I don't care much about Mark II anyway, so that's not like a big draw for me. And then I don't know what kind of new chunky Saturnine dreadnought he's talking about, but I kind of hope he's wrong about stuff. He tends to not be wrong when he talks in detail about things like that, though, which sucks. Yeah, you like Mark II. Okay, that's cool. 20 sets of Saturnine himself? I think that was it. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully there is some more, like, some, like, Legion-specific love, you know, with Istvan. But that also makes me wonder, like, are they coming out with a campaign book, then? Are they gonna put out another book for the game if they come out with that set? Because the last 2 big sets have come with books. So, yeah, they don't have any Praetors, yeah. Oh man, I was able to order something. Was finally able to order the Thousand Suns Librarian console. Was finally back in stock after a good 6 months. And I went ahead and ordered one. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. I have a lot of Thousand Suns characters to paint up, ones that I printed out and everything, so. Okay, I have 3 more of these with the double guide. These takes forever. It's fine. We should get it done. A lot of my Rubric Marines to the dip to strip them. Oh, okay. Nice. It's just Proto-Rabo. I mean, it's enough. Are you, like, nervous to paint him? Yeah, I get it. Hey, Hubble, how you doing? Happy with how they were turning out, so I decided I'm going to rethink my scheme and start again. Okay, alright. That's fair. Aslan, I know you were talking with Pwn about playing a game of 40k. Have you read through the Chaos Space Marines cult rules? I'm not crazy in remembering that you were the one that was running, like, the cultist spam in our league, right? So, alright, I don't know if that's necessarily true. Yeah, these bikes are goofy looking. I know. It is what it is. There was just someone that went, like, it was like 4-1 or 5-1 or something. Maybe it was 7-1. I think it was an 8-round tournament. They went 7-1 in a tournament with the cultist lists. I think that Chaos Codex is just good. That cultist list, I don't think the cultist attachment is that bad. Yeah, like, it obviously lost a lot of flavor, but, you know, as a Dark Eldar player, I have no sympathy because I'm Dark Eldar, but also because that's what happens to the Dark Eldar every edition, so. Yeah, I don't know, man. You should look up that list that guy fielded. I don't think he had any Marines in his list. You're definitely playing, like, it's like positioning, like blocking the board, which I think they were before too. You know, it's since you have the bodies, you're playing like trading. You know, like, my unit's not going to live, but if I can take down this, like, it's good. And also just like completely body blocking your opponent from getting places. And I think that's probably how cultists played before too, if you're wanting to spam cultists. Yeah, GSC, okay. Alright. You know, all the detachments in GSC, the Brood Brothers looks the least interesting to me. But I've never been a huge fan of like Brood Brothers in general for GSC, so that's just more personal preference. Welcome back. Think about selling your combat patrol, okay. I saw someone on my local page was selling 2 of the older combat patrols new in box. I was like, man, those old combat patrols are such a good value. Like, I was tempted. I didn't do it. I don't need more armies and more things to paint. But I was tempted. Likely the weakest? Because he has at least synergies. Yeah, yep. Right. From like first glance, you look at that and you're like, okay, so you need to buy the guard units to shoot at stuff. And then you get like a really minor buff if the guard unit shoots, and then it's only the Genestealer Cult units that get the buff afterwards. And it's like a really strange way to like integrate. Kind of like nobody gets buffs because everybody has to like, you have to like focus fire on things. More. I like, yeah. Oh, thanks, Greenleaf Terrain Studio. I appreciate it. No, I have lots. I have lots and lots to paint and to do. Genestealer Cults are definitely in the back burner anyway, so. If I were to paint all of the miniatures for the armies I got, which are, you know, Empire counts for the old world, heresy stuff for, you know, my Horus Heresy army. I have some Space Marines to paint. I have Necrons to paint. All of that. Then I would consider getting Genestealer Cults. Or getting more Genestealer Cult minis to paint, but oh man. Lots is not more. Yeah. Yeah, and Sisters of Battle potentially broken. We'll see how these points come out. Man, Sisters are looking real good. You, the next double rider here. The Sisters of Doom. To paint. Yeah. I had fun painting the sisters that I've painted. Hey, Zombie Bunny, what's up, man? Yeah, like the minis look good, and I know they're not like the simplest thing to paint, but I enjoyed the sisters that I've painted for people. But, you know, I can understand it. Genestealer Cults, in my opinion, were way more difficult and complicated, and probably a little less enjoyable to paint than sisters. And Genestealer are like a true horde army. Their minis just take a long time to paint. You could definitely be more like experimental with your colors and everything with the GSC, but From Slap Chop? Yeah, yeah. They probably would. The thing that makes Gene Stealer Colts difficult is that Slap Chop are not like, their minis have so many colors involved that you're spending a lot of time painting them. Just because they all have like weird parts to their uniforms, like knickknacks. Some of them have like hanging cloth, like like tattered clothes. Like they have different weapons with like straps all over them, and just all these things that just make like each one of those things just adds a little bit of time to painting them. But then every mini has like 8 of those points, and so you're just going through a lot of different colors. Yeah, Gosu. That's kind of my thought with Gene Stealer Colts in general, and like newer GW minis in general are like that. But the old guard infantry were perfect. You could put more detail on them if you wanted to, but you really didn't have to. But those new Cadians are covered in like webbing and stuff, and it just makes them take forever to paint. BSC Kill Team for Father's Day. Oh, cool. All right. All the Brood Brothers and stuff, and like the Brood Coven, I think, also comes with. See about them. So much trim. Yeah, yeah. At least the thing with rubrics is, like at most, you're putting 60 rubrics on the table if you're really spamming them. And realistically, you're not probably not going to put 60 of those on the table. Gene Stealer Colts, though, like their minis are almost a comparable amount of time to paint. Like not quite. Like I understand the trim. I have painted armies for both. The Gene Stealer Cult minis, though, like you're taking 120 neophytes on the board, and like that's a reasonable number of neophytes to put on the board and to play with a Gene Stealer Cult army. Not to mention the Acolytes, which you could take 60 of those, and those Acolytes take way longer to paint than the neophytes do. They have an extra arm, they have extra weapons, they have extra colors on top of like the basic uniform colors. They have like the whole Gene Stealer actual like side of them. And yeah, taking 60 of those is an absolutely like reasonable amount to take in a Gene Stealer Cult army. So, they do sound like fun to play, though. Gene Stealer Colts are really fun to play. I like armies with shenanigans, where you're just doing all kinds of ridiculous things, and like your opponent's just like confused as to what's going on. Those are the kind of armies I like to play. I like armies that are just little dudes. Yeah, that's fair. Yep, I can see that with you. Your Imperial Guard infantry horde. The Death Corps of Krieg that's getting like a bunch of plastic minis coming out. And just do a huge Death Corps of Krieg army. Guard Codex is one I'm excited to see. I hope they really do it justice. Yeah. They could easily do 8 detachments of Guard. Where do you sell your minis? I've never sold anything online. Yeah, eBay is good. My issue with eBay is they take a big cut. eBay takes like 20% of what you sell, which is annoying when you're like, trying to be reasonable and sell things cheaper. I sell things to local people a lot via like Discord group on like local Discord groups, and I just meet at stores. I have sold things on Facebook, but it's through like specific buy sell trade groups. And you have to really be careful though if you're doing that, because like you got to make sure you get your payment first. Don't do the friends and family payment if you're using PayPal. Like do the actual selling and just pay the fee. And yeah, and like work it out with the person. But if something feels off, don't go through with it. Yeah, like you gotta protect yourself. Oh yeah, alright. Alright. Let's keep going with these bikes. 12 more bikes. I only have one guy that's got the gunner on here, so yeah, if you want to play 40k and you want an easy army to paint, to play, and everything, it's just Necrons. Necrons are the one. Maybe Custodes, but Necron's probably easier than Custodes. Custodes are probably cheaper, though. This is very much the lore and idea side. Not sure how I'm feeling about them on the tabletop right now. Yeah. But like not fun to play, or you just think they're not good, or what? Tabletop makes me more interested in them. Not gonna lie, yeah. I don't think Custodes are that bad on the tabletop. People that play Custodes, like that are like really into playing Custodes, no matter what happens, they always complain that Custodes are bad. And if you stay in this hobby long enough and you look for it, you'll find it. It was really big in 9th edition. where their codex came out at the same time the Gene Stealer codex came out. And man, did Custodes players freak out about how bad their codex was. And it was so bad that like 2 weeks after their codex came out, GW released like an errata for their codex and like fixed, quote unquote, fixed a bunch of stuff. But at that same time, what started happening was, before that fix came into effect, tournament data started coming out, and Custodes players were crushing people in tournaments. Yeah, Raja, yeah, that's what happened. People were crying foul so hard and so publicly that GW made them better without even seeing like actual game results. And then it turns out that Custodes were really good and their base codex was really good, but then they got this buff like right away from GW that was complete overkill and not necessary. And so then Custodes ended up being really good, like way overpowered through like a good portion of 9th edition when their codex was out. It was really hilarious, but it really summed up like the 40k Custodes community in a nutshell. Is tends to complain no matter what, which is why I don't necessarily know if Custodes are actually, like, their codex is actually bad or not. But I know a lot of people abandon it because they went from being really good, and now they have a codex that people say is bad. But, like, you know, that only does so much with the data. And people just drop the codex. Yeah. Hey, Tiernan just won a big tournament this weekend. Yeah, the Tiernan codex got the short end of the stick. You're kind of like a 50-50 if your codex gets like a good update or not, right? That's pretty much what we're at with 10th edition. Yeah, the Custodes kill team, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I don't play kill team, but like, you know, it'd be cool if they, you know, GW gave everybody their own like kill team that could do different things basically. Yeah, they did get the first codex, so yep. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow. There might, you know, what if there's a lot of changes tomorrow that just change up a lot of different codexes? You play Necrons and Nids. Hey, Necrons are really good, though. And Necrons were even fun to play in 9th edition, so... Tyranids just always suck. GW has always hated Tyranids. They'll get like one good archetype in edition for like 6 months, and it's always just monsters. Okay, that's the last tandem rider here. Tandem bike. Fourth edition Tyranids were not good. I don't know what kind of crazy nonsense you're thinking, Spill Paint Bot, but my buddy got, we got a bunch of people into 40k around 4th edition, and my buddy went really hard into Tyranids, and they were so bad. Like, they had, like, no anti-tank, which is, like, you know, it's kind of how they are now. Like, they don't have great anti-tank, and so, like, you know, 4th edition, they weren't good. And then going into 5th edition, their 4th edition codex had nobody to do with tanks. And 5th edition was all, like, mechanized warfare. And so, so they were, like, out of luck. Like, they couldn't do anything. Then their 5th edition codex came out. It didn't help them in the anti-vehicle department at all. Like, they were so hard to fight, to use against vehicles. And they just had no tools for it. I remember those days. I don't know about 3rd. They could have been good in 3rd. The next codex is currently not announced, but it is quote unquote redacted. Like they made a big spiel about it, like GW did, about like, ooh, this is redacted, you're not allowed to know this information. The leak that has happened is that it is an Agents of the Imperium Codex with like Inquisitors and Assassins in the focus, and possibly Death Watch in that codex as well. Yeah, and there is not a zero chance of there being Grey Knights just rolled up into that codex as well. But you're going to have like the 3 different ordos of Inquisitors, so the Ordo Malleus, Ordo Hereticus, and Ordo Xenos, and the focus is like on that. Probably the what do you call them? The Arbites, those kind of things. Yeah, all that stuff. Local meta, as it was back then, was mainly Assault, ton of Blood Angels players, Khorne, Eldar player, bunch of Aspect Warriors, yeah. Right, yeah, when you have armor, like that's... Armor was really good back in like 5th edition. No, it won't be Emperor's Children. Emperor's Children are going to come out for a while. Sorry. I don't want to burst bubbles, but... that's going to be like... they're going to make a huge like deal around Fulgrim coming back. And we're probably going to see leaks of Fulgrim's Mini before the Codex is ever announced. Yeah, I mean, Grey Knights are pretty basic overall. Like, they don't have a ton of units. And they do have some fat they could cut, you know, like a lot of Space Marine armies do. But, yeah. Just saying there's a chance, guys. That's all. Don't be too flabbergasted if you get the Codex and it's Grey Knights and Kill Team rolled into one. That's why they're waiting to announce it. The gnashing of teeth will be great. So if they put enough detachments in that Codex, I think it'll be fine. You know, like you have a couple specific Grey Knight detachments, you have a couple specific Death Watch detachments, and then you have some weird like Inquisitor nonsense detachments. Like, you could do that and be fine. Because in reality, who cares about what book is named what? Like, as long as you get detachments that work with your stuff, right? Like, that's what matters. Head out. All right, Ghost. So you have a good one, man. Yeah. It'll be this edition, Wookiee. This edition will be Emperor's Children. But yeah, it's just probably going to be more toward the end of the edition. It'll be like the big storyline thing with like Fulgrim coming back, like it was for every other Primarch that's come back. But yeah, they got to build up the hype around him, right? Yeah, because they've been doing a Chaos Primarch every edition, and they've been doing Loyalist Primarchs every couple editions, but I think they're going to do a Loyalist Primarch every edition as well. Yeah, 40k Fulgrim. Just go buy that 30k one, man. Spend 100 hours on the mini for it to just break when you first touch it. Dark Eldar Votann Night factions, yeah. Strong Brazen, yeah. People, I remember that mini came out and people were like, TPD, how much would you charge to assemble and paint this mini? I was like, more than any of you can afford. I'm not dealing with that. I have no idea what you guys can afford, but it's going to be a lot of money. Just in plastic for half the price. He would have to be so chunky.
First of
Like,
all, let me take just a moment
it'd be
to
way
thank
too
you
chunky.
for allowing me back into your
Hello,
home.
thank you for the follow. Mr. Name who could very well be a bot. This is what it looks like a little bit. But welcome in. If you're not a bot, please say hello. Let me know how you're doing. That mini in plastic would be more fragile than these bikes on their flight stands. I couldn't imagine putting someone through that. Yeah, I can almost guarantee the Magnus Mini in 40, or the Fulgrim Mini in 40K is not going to. He's going to be chunky. He's going to have big chunky plastic pieces because they just do. The Primarchs do, right? And he's probably not going to look as good, like technically, as the Heresy Ascended Fulgrim. Because Forge World can knock it out of the park with the actual aesthetics of minis. More so than GW can or will with, limitations with plastic and the demographic and like crowd they're appealing to. It's just kind of the reality of things. I'm sure he'll look cool though. Scales and plastic, the spin. Yeah. It's more like the tiny wings. Is like super thin wings and all the little spindly pieces that are way too small for plastic to hold up in plastic on like any kind of grand scale. Or like a good playable piece. Like I would not, if I ever had that Fulgrim Mini, the Fulgrim Ascended from Forge World, I would never put him on a table. I would seal him in a glass container, and like that's where he would sit after being painted, and hopefully not broken too much. I broke my Magnus like 5 times while I was painting him. He is nowhere near that spindly. Wrathy route scaled down by about half. Yeah, I don't know if they'll scale him down. Gotta be big. Big snake boy. I've never seen that Marathi Mini in person though, so. Oh man. Yeah, it'd be cool if they kept them like smaller, but I don't think there's any reason to. Magnus is smaller than you expect? Okay. I saw that Magnus Mini in person once, and it was years ago, and it was like 7th edition, like after he came out, and I remember he was giant then, but that was also back in 7th edition. Like there weren't a lot of minis that were that size at the time, so. Yeah, he would need to be. He'd probably be pretty big. Yeah. I can understand that. You basically just need to wait and see. I am, how my week is going. I'm excited to see what the Adeptus Ridiculous episode is today. I have some, got game night going. We got some Middle Earth, a Battle Company campaign to continue, and then tomorrow is Data Slate. So we're gonna be talking about that all day tomorrow. Is big Data Slate, new points drops and everything. So be ready for that, guys. And then I'm gonna be adjusting my list. And then I'm going to be focusing on tournament things with my army. Can finally feel like I can go all out focusing on that. And then I guess there's Space Marine 2 preview tomorrow as well at like Gamescom or whatever. So big Space Marine 2 info coming. So that'll be fun to look at, check out, and watch. And then I have a tournament to focus on. And then I'm curious where this next tournament is. Or not tournament, this next codex. That's what I was thinking. Next codex. So I want to hear about the Agents of the Imperium stuff. We'll see what it is. I don't have like a super optimistic view about individual codexes or what they're doing with factions. I'm excited to see Thousand Suns, their codex, which may be Mono God Zinch, which would be cool to me, but having robots might be a thing since they talked about him in a White Dwarf article. It's had the Harvester keyword. Okay. Huh. That Titus mini? Yeah, Titus mini looks pretty good. If he had rules in 40k, I would be more interested in getting him. I would totally get him if he had rules because, I play Ultramarines, so like, give me the Ultramarine characters. I'll make them fit in the game. Pay him like a Blood Angel? Alright. 1 mil base by 1 and 170 mil height? Gotcha, okay. I want to see a Demon Primarch without wings. I think Perturabo would probably be the best bet for that, right? But I couldn't imagine Iron Warriors being their own faction. If they're getting, all the Demon Primarchs have their own army. But maybe he'd be like cool and like go chill with Vashtor or something. But what? Look in the mirror. What am I talking about? Godkiller Dread Purdy? Yeah. Giant knight-sized Perturabo. That'd be awesome. Just like his head, and he's just like on a knight body. The ego couldn't have him smaller than Magnus. That's the thing about Magnus, though. He just chooses his size. Right? Like, he just decides he's going to be bigger than everybody else. You think they'll give him rules, Wookiee? They could. Very well could. Okay. 8 more. Yeah, he could just be however big he wants to. He was doing that before the heresy. Just choosing his size. Unicron. Just become the size of a planet. He needs to stop choosing the nipple horns. Yeah, he does. I agree. I mean, it's intimidating, maybe, like, to other people. The rules unless he gets individual release. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's true. He would need to have like his own mini coming out. Guess he wouldn't need to, but I can see that logic from GW. Gets when a box character gets special rules. What? They do that with AdMech? Is that what you're saying, or what? I don't know what that is. Techno-archaeologist? Okay. AdMech are just so abused. Like, they don't even... They shouldn't even come with, like, normal conversation on how, like, armies should be treated. My real question for tomorrow, for this big, you know, all the rules, the erratas and the changes and everything, is... we know AdMech are getting changes to their detachments and stuff. Like, AdMech are supposed to be getting some big changes. We'll see what they do, but they're supposed to get actual rules changes. And it makes me wonder, are there other factions getting rules changes? Like some detachments that are maybe too strong? Or detachments that are really weak? Like, are they going to buff up? You know, like, is the Space Marine, is the Anvil Siege detachment going to end up being really good all of a sudden? And the Iron Storm get nerfed or whatever? Like, is that going to happen? Or is it just AdMech that'll be getting the change? Big doubt. Yeah, I mean, it's Imperial Fist, so they're not gonna buff Anvil. That was my example, like my non-realistic example. It was a Blackstone Fortress character. Okay. I mean, $45 isn't, like, too far off the cost of a normal character anyway, though. Great. Points changes related to battle line, OC0 stuff. Around FAQ updates. No, I don't think it'll be anything too major for most people. Yeah. I kind of agree. I am just getting, like, not necessarily my hopes up, but trying to, like, prepare myself in case things are, like, crazy different. We'll list writing on this. Order the Ground Knight command set. Oh, sweet. That's awesome. Well, I am excited to paint some Bretonnians soon. The AdMech will get the significant rules rewrites. May see some NIDs getting some... You think other armies will get detachments? Man, I hope Guard get a new detachment, but I think they're supposed to come out later this summer. I hope we get soon a new what do you call that? A new roadmap. It's fun to speculate and see what's coming. So we need a Horus Heresy roadmap too. They haven't given us a roadmap this year. Tacoma Open? Maybe. I saw like July 16th or 19th or something is the next like big day that they could announce something. They could do like a big announcement stream. We'll see. No Codex in June. Well, Gene Stealer Cults and Sisters in June. Probably nothing coming in July though. But July's gonna be like Age of Sigmar month, so with night factions, see Bondsman return affect big nights. Yeah, the roadmaps are done after excuse me. Yeah, Aslan, I think you have like really good suggestions there. Makes sense. Yeah, the roadmap ends, guys. You know what that means? 40k is getting canceled. The last codex? Ugh. Man, that's a tough call. What if we did like a pool, like who's choosing the last codex? You think Emperor's Children? Well, Guard were the last codex last edition. I know they're not the last this edition. I'm gonna say it depends on so many things. I'm gonna say one of the Chaos Marine factions. I would say either Death Guard or World Eaters. You think it'll be Votann? Okay, that's not a terrible guess either. Yeah, I think Emperor's Children are probably a good candidate for like second to last, but I don't think they'll be the very last one. That's all. This is. There's no fact-based hypothesis here. It's pure feeling. Yeah. Well, Imperial Guard got theirs like 3 months before, or less. It was like 2 or 3 months before the before 10th edition came, and literally just wiped that codex off the map. Yeah, it's different when the edition change isn't so great like it was before 9th and 10th, where you can keep using your codex. But, you know, when they go to the index system, like, you know your codex isn't going to be valid for very long. Like, there's no point in buying it. Yeah, if they don't do a refresh with 11th edition, like a full refresh, then it won't be terrible. Still not great though. Typically, the final codex in an edition does like draw the short straw because they don't like they try to write it with the new edition in mind a little bit, but it never works out well. It's like you're not only, you know, decent for the like couple months, and the new edition comes out, and then you're like the worst codex in the edition. No, these are pretty miserable to paint. This will paint pot. I pinned every single one of these. I don't know if you guys heard my spiel about this. These minis, they connect at one tiny point down here. It's the same with the heavy locust destroyers, but I don't have this issue with heavy locust destroyers. Last night I was just pulling these minis off. I just bend them and they'd come right off. I handed one to the painting wife and I said, "Hey, break this mini off its base." She's like, "I don't want to do that." I was like, "Just do it. Just do it." She grabbed it and like you barely move it and the whole thing just comes right off. It's crazy how poorly designed the actual mini is here. So I pinned them. I used some floral wire and and my wow stick and some glue. Yeah, you buy the books for fluff, and even then, like, there's not a lot of fluff anymore in the codexes. So Votann models are tiny. I'm not a huge fan of the Votann aesthetic, but you know, that's all like personal preference. So these bikes are pretty awful though. Paint. I haven't really struggled painting Votann minis. Just there's a lot going on in these minis. Yeah, you gotta be real careful when you handle minis with those like thin bits. Piece of plastic there. Yeah. Small next to Admech. Yeah, because they're dwarves. They're short. It's funny, you collect armies like Space Marines for so long, and then, you know, I bought that set, that Solar Auxilia battle group, and here I am with all these little tiny infantry again. Little puny humans. Just a few more of these guys. I think what we'll do is we will start tomorrow's stream with this same color. This is Pearl Crow Black Brown. And we're going to go through all the other leather bits on these minis. So we are just getting these dusters. Take forever. But we're going to continue on with the base colors. Blacks and reds and metals. 2 metal colors maybe. And that should be probably about it for the base colors. And then we'll do a couple little washes and then we'll highlight. And that's it. So the amount of colors I'm using on these minis is not great. It's a lot of time per color. I still have a couple of these guys to finish. Don't run out yet. But yeah. A lot of silver that's gonna happen. More kill teams, only have 3. I think I have 3 kill teams, but I don't know. Auxilia and the Cult Mechanica. I know, those both look so good. Yeah. The Cult Mechanica minis look amazing, and I I have to stop myself from buying those. Like, I can't. I have too many other things to paint. I don't know when they're coming out, but I know I'm going to have too much to paint when they come out, and I don't want to do it. I'm, like, just getting into, like, these Solar Auxilia minis, and I have a way to integrate them into my Thousand Suns, and, like, I just painted a test mini, or a couple test minis, and got, like, a color scheme. Everything is primed and base coated. Like, that's what I have, you know, and, like, I'm ready to do all that. There's more Auxilia stuff I want as time goes on. I found some STLs for some Sharonite Ogren, who are very cool. Heresy, the Ogren are awesome. I want those. But, you know, they're like $50 a mini. They're like minimum squad size of 3, and you get up to like 9 of them in a squad. You can print them for, you know, 40 cents a piece or something. Warp Coven. You need 3 sources. I have no idea. I have no idea what you need. Ruber cables and pets. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about Kill Team. I am of no help there. All right. His coat, 3 more coats. I'm really happy with the progress I have done. Yesterday I was really upset, but I did finish up these guys. So here's my. I just have to put my matte varnish on my aggressors, and they're ready to put on the battlefield. I need 3 more aggressors though. So close. What are some units? So Zen, or I guess anybody here, what are some Space Marine units you think will get buffs and nerfs tomorrow? What do you think? I am thinking units associated with Iron Storm will get nerfed. The spare Zangor Sprue, nice. So yeah, I think like like Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I think the Brutalis Dreadnought will get a points bump. Infiltrators, you think will get the point increase? Yeah. Tech Marines, yeah, the enhancements. Okay. Do you think any of the vehicles, like the actual tanks, will get nerfed? Like the Repulsor Executioner or anything? I think the Repulsor Executioner is probably a little overcosted. Anything. Reavers will still be bad. That's fair. Yep. Yeah, you got that right. It's the one constant in the world of 40k. Reavers have so much potential to be cool, though. They're like little assassins, and all their weapons are precision and everything, which is awesome. Like, that's such a cool unit to like field and plan around, but then they just don't do anything. The Gladiator might get a points increase. Yeah, what about the Vindicator? Vindicator might be one. It just got a point decrease, but I don't know. I think those minis might be too good. One second, guys. Alright, 190 is kind of high for the Vindicator, though. I've been hearing a lot of people complaining about, like, the repulsors. Like, I think the standard repulsor is 190, and everybody's like, that's way too overpriced for that thing. Maybe the Land Raider Redeemer get a points increase. The units got nerfed because the one jump in, jump out. Yeah. The Eliminators, right? That'd be funny if Eliminators got a point increase. Because there's like literally one situation they're good in that like one person does. Yeah, Black Templars and Iron Storm. Yeah, Iron Storm seems to be kind of an issue with Space Marines as far as the power level, and I think I could see the easiest way to correct that is just increase the price of the enhancements. But yeah, there's a lot to that. Stupid Iron Hands, always making everybody else look bad. Stupid sexy Iron Hands. Yeah. Yeah, just that one ability, yeah. Like, impulsors are terrible, right? Like, they transport, like, 6 dudes. They're not, like, tough. They're just, like, a moderately fast, like, garbage open-top transport. I don't own any impulsors, but I do have a box of eliminators, and I would like it if eliminators were like decent, like what they are, you know, instead of like just a weird trick. I think they can carry Tacticus units. They just can't carry they can't carry Gravis. Yeah, because you can definitely put like regular intercessors and stuff. Yeah, with the Hellblasters and then with the Eliminator, so it can carry Phobos as well. Said if they ever made rhinos able to carry Primaris units, that would be amazing. I'd be all about that. Because carrying 10 dudes in a transport is significant compared to the dumb Impulsor 6 max. Loose Gravis. Yeah. Okay. One more of these trench coats. Stormlance and Vanguard. See, the Stormlance probably not, because unless they nerf Space Wolves. Space Wolves are one of the best armies in the game because of Stormlance right now. Not a lot of people play it, but they call it like Wolf Jail or something. Yeah. All I need for the I want to field my Infernus squad so bad. All I need is to be able to put Chief Librarian Tigurius into Infernus Marines, and I'd be happy. That's all I need. They won't do it. The cowards. The cowards won't do it. Yeah, Stormlance has the white scars. Yeah, for mounted units. Yep. Yeah, the Vanguard one looks cool too. Like, there are ways to like pull shenanigans with the Vanguard one, but the problem is, for like generic Marines, Ironstorm is so good that people don't want to waste the brain space playing something like Vanguard, where you have to like think a lot more about what you're doing. And you know, it uses Phobos units and stuff, which are kind of lame compared to Dreadnoughts and big tanks and tech Marines and things. So yeah, that Stormlance is basically it's a Space Wolves detachment. That's what it is. Space Wolves are the only ones with the mounted units that take advantage of it. I absolutely hate the Invictus Warsuit. I hate it so much. So I do not want to see that thing get a buff, even if it sacrifices the whole detachment. What I've heard is really good with that Vanguard detachment is the is Calgar with Gravis, or Calgar with Aggressors, because you can like infiltrate them, and you just shove them up in the opponent's face, and like there's different like things you can give that detachment. I might check that out just to see. I'm curious what you can do with that. Rip the arms off, stick them off on a Redemptor. Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's more reasonable. You know, like buy an extra Ballistus Dreadnought if they sell those for cheap, but those are probably more expensive now than a regular Redemptor, because they're not easy to get. But use that Ballistus Dread body. Well, and the arms are all modular anyway between the Dreadnoughts, so I wonder if those Invictus arms are easy to swap out at the same like connection point. Yeah, since they didn't put the Ballistus Dread in the starter set, like the actual, like, you know, current starter set's probably not as cheap. ATV represent everything I hate about Primaris. Yeah. The repulsors are really bad about it too. The repulsors with their like 300 weapons inside a tiny little turret that somehow all carry tons of rounds, like enough for an entire battle, but also room to transport 12 dudes. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't mind the Ballistus model. I like my Ballistus Mini. The Dreadnought itself is bad, though. Like, the actual rules for it. I don't like the Brutalis as much. But I think that goes back to the days of the Ironclad Dreadnought coming out. And, you know, Dreadnoughts were always like, they had like 2 weapons on them. Like, that was a Dreadnought. And then the Ironclad comes out and it's got like 6 weapons and it looks like a children's toy. And they're like, yeah, look at this cool Dreadnought. And it was like better than the regular Dreadnoughts. And it was just like, this thing is goofy. Yeah. I agree, Star Laser. Yeah, there's some really bad aesthetics for Primaris stuff. But there's some good stuff too. Blade Guard veterans are the absolute winners. But like, yeah, some of the vehicles are really bad. Like, I would take like Rhinos and Land Raiders over any of the floating like grab vehicles any day. You know, they try to like upgun them so they're not like, they don't suffer the issue of like the Predator, where it's like it's got like 2 crappy weapons on it, and it's like, this is your tank, you know, 2 crappy weapons, but like, just make the weapons better. You know, you have the ability, you can do that. They just decide they won't. Yeah, heavy intercessors are really cool. I like the idea of dudes basically in Terminator armor, but they have like guns. Paint minis fully assembled. There's literally no way to reach many places. Hey, Zalanuki, is that how you pronounce it? My philosophy is, if I am painting a mini and I A, can't see the part, or B, there is literally no way for my, like, if I can see it, there's a way for my brush to reach it. In some way, shape, or form, I can reach it. If I can't see it, there's no point in painting it, because no one else can see it. That's the point. Yeah, and then, yeah, darker prime works just fine for that. Yeah, if you prime your minis like black or like dark gray, it's so easy to just like skip over inner parts of the mini, and like, it makes sense. Yeah. I obviously did not do that with these minis, but I do have a lot of minis I prime darker, and won't prime in white anymore. I prime in white probably more than black anymore. I don't know. I don't know how I, like, there's no like handling it, I guess. I paint I paint like 700 minis a year. Like, I don't have time to worry about like a spot that I can't see being unpainted. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, once you get into it, you just kind of accept it. Like, I can't see it, it's not painted, it doesn't matter. You know, you look at the mini and you're like, sweet. And you also have to keep in mind, like, when you're painting, you're going to be your own worst critic. 99% of people you come across, you're going to put your minis on the table and they're like, wow, they look cool. Like, can I look at a mini? Yeah, sure. They're going to look at it. Like, that's cool. They're not going to be looking at all your little tiny mistakes. And if you find someone who picks up a random mini of yours and they start telling you about all the mistakes in your mini, don't ever play that person in a game again. Like, that person is not the kind of person that you want to be around in the hobby. So, you know, that said, we are always going to be our own worst critics when it comes to our painting, because we know exactly, like, every brush stroke we put on that mini. We know every little detail, every little nook and cranny on that mini that we painted and didn't paint. We're going to be able to pick out every mistake because we know it's there. Other people are not, unless you're, you know, putting a mini in a painting competition. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you put a lot of time into every mini, then, you know, and if you're just collecting to paint, by all means, sub-assembly, you know, take all the time you want on your minis. And, you know, like, anybody can take all the time they want on their minis. But people that are playing the game, like, you put the minis together, you paint them, they're great. No one's gonna see the parts that you can't see, so it doesn't matter. On the spawn said, screw it. Yeah, I glued those suckers. Yeah. Some things are worth magnetizing. Sometimes just not worth it. I brought a conversion kit. That's right. Yeah, that conversion kit to the Gladiator is incredible. Fit perfect, right? That was the one, right? It was just like you just set that thing right on top. You're like, oh yeah, good. Yeah. Well, Zen, can you get a raid together for us? Let's see who's out there that raid. Epic Duck. We could raid Jamie Daggers. He was chilling on our stream earlier. Jamie Daggers might be a good one to raid. Go and say hi and chill for a couple minutes. But I think we're gonna... Yeah, let's raid Jamie. It's her last stream before she goes to Origins. I think she's teaching classes at Origins, painting classes, so... she's an incredible painter and a super cool person. So we're gonna raid over there. Give her a follow if you don't already, and say hi. Origins is a convention, a game convention in Columbus, Ohio. It was one of the biggest conventions in the country for a while, like board game conventions, but I think it's kind of died off. Yeah, raid has started. All right, guys, you all have a wonderful day. I will see you all tomorrow at about 10 a.m. I'll be continuing on with the Leagues of Votann. We'll try to get 2 or 3 more colors on and just kind of continue on. But you guys have a wonderful afternoon and evening, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.